let's go. Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Dream Warriors. My name is Rita Egidio, and I am starting my day in Mexico, talking with someone in the other side of the world. I love this. I love internet. I love the possibility of connection. Do you want, my dear, to take the microphone, present yourself, tell who you are, what you do, and where are you based?
Yes, g'day. Obviously, from my language, I'm from Australia. My name is Brad Fewson. I am a 20-year veteran of the Australian military, the US military, police force, and also a coach in CrossFit and veterans advocacy and that. I'm very well known worldwide in especially in the veteran industry, and that because I suffer a terminal neurodegenerative condition called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, which is, you might have heard about it. That's the latest in all the football and all that, repetitive trauma to the head. I've sustained over 350 mild to serious traumas to the head through my service and through my various jobs and the like. And as a result, I, like Muhammad Ali, I developed multiple system atrophy, Parkinson's, and CTE, which is degrading of the cells of the brain, which leads to hypoxia and then respiratory failure in 8 years. And that's just alarm going off in the background. Don't worry about that. You know, I was officially diagnosed in 2014 after I had left the military and introduced CrossFit, which everyone worldwide knows about CrossFit. We're one of the first ones to introduce it into Australia in the grassroots when no one knew about it in 2010. In 2014, I was diagnosed terminal, and I've been given 12 months since then, since 2014. By 2018, I went into a coma. About 12 months later, and I survived the coma, which no one expected. And I was fortunate enough to receive some treatment called hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which is the latest treatment out there for a variety of conditions. And we have medically and totally reversed we're reversing the condition. In the process, I ran a company in fitness. I coach and I teach Olympic weightlifting, gymnastics on a national level. Obviously, I coach and I teach and advise in the military on security issues and that sort of stuff. That, you know, but ever since I was sick, I got into e-commerce to help enhance my fitness business, and obviously I could no longer be in the military. As I got sicker, my body, being my work, was taken away from me, because being neurological, you know, like Parkinson's, that is my whole life. So having your effectively your identity, as we would call it, or as a lot of us, would realise, a mask taken away from you, you have to constantly reinvent yourself. A big part of my company was charity for veterans and first responders and their families. As we know, there is just not enough love and light and charity in this world, and support. And so all of my business practices have now been diverted, especially e-commerce, which is now what we solely focus on, to support our medical centre for veterans and first responders, where we have in Australia the first integrative, modern, holistic, alternative medical centre that has all the latest alternative treatment for medicinal cannabis, psilocybin, hyperbaric, TMS, spirituality, you name it, we do it, because everything has to be an integrative approach. You know, it's not just one peg fits all sort of thing. I'm the first one to receive the treatment, which is it's quite common now in the United. It's now common in the United States and Australia, but I'm the first one to receive the treatment in a terminal condition. When I had the treatment, they call me the man. It's a label again, unfortunately, the man that doesn't die. I've probably used up 420 of my 9 lives, you know, in that retrospect. I've had CPR done 50 times on me, and that's no exaggeration, mostly by my wife at the time. And when I received the treatment, I was fully wheelchair bound. I was respiratory failure every day, and that was 2.5 years ago. And here I am now. We've created a precedent so that now everyone in Australia is entitled to this treatment, and it's game changing, and it treats over 100 conditions, from cancer to traumatic brain injury to stroke to everything. It's effectively oxygen to the brain, and that's what we need. Oxygen.
What I'm amazed with what you are saying. My question to you is, what is your situation now? How do you feel?
Well, whilst we created the medical centre, my situation, and just in terms of stepping out of the e-commerce for a little bit, but it's still related. It's only just been accepted by the government. The precedent has only been accepted by the government. They would only treat 14 conditions in the hospital for it, and because there had never been enough worldwide studies, double-blind placebos, that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Of which the Israelis are the leaders for that. But I've been the first live specimen, you could say, where they've had I've had for the last 5 years, non-stop 24/7 nursing, supporting medical documentation of every time, every brain scan, the latest you can think of. They stopped the treatment 5 times, which put me into full regression, full total terminal regression, and restarted it. And each time we've shown continuous healing. So we've actually proven that it actually now works. So we're at the point now where the centre, we've opened up the centre, and it's called Propatria, www.propatria, Propatria, propatria.com.au. Propatria means for one's homeland. It's a common, analogy, obviously, for soldiers that go out and they're fighting for the country, and it's a monastery. And the Carmelite monastery nuns are getting a bit too old, and we're looking for a good retreat medical centre where we could have all the different alternative integrative doctors and everything all there in one spot. And that's where we are right now. Still at the moment going through the political with the government. In that regards. In that regards. And we utilise for fundage. So on the e-commerce side of the house, I'm a massive history lover. I'm a subject matter expert in numismatics, which is coins, currency, like your silver eagle, Chinese coins, your your sovereigns, all that sort of thing, you know. So we trade and collect, and you know, for people that do all collectibles, everyone collects things of some type or something and that sort of stuff. And so we do a lot of history preservation, and we sell and give away for free to educate and to bring in money for our charity. And that's purely what the e-commerce is for. Now, our products, we actually don't really sell a product. We just give it away. We give it away.
So are you using your experience to share in a book or coaching other people?
Yes, yeah. I've been here in Australia. I've been on numerous television shows about my experiences, newspaper, medical journals. I have I have a book that I wrote for my children purely, so that when I have three boys, that they're now 20, 18 and 8, but the youngest one was he was only 6 months when I was first diagnosed. So he wasn't supposed to. I wasn't supposed to be here, and my dad died when I was 18 months as well. So on that note, I wrote. So I wrote so he could have a first-hand account who his father was, because he, you know, he'd have videos and stuff. I never had that, but yeah. But the book, which is about my background, obviously then led into the 2.5 year, obviously, fight with the government, you know, for treatment and proving and that. And then at the same time, also reaching, or as some would say, spiritual enlightenment, awakening, and finding my way in that area, and then also teaching and helping others where necessary.
Do you have any offer on place if someone wants to work with you today, what they need to do and what they can do?
In relation to the services, you know, we utilize the e-commerce for bringing in the funds, but in terms of coaching, I do coaching for free.
Okay.
My God,
what is your form of income?
That comes from the e-commerce side, and effectively what we do on the e-commerce is that we're about history preservation. History. If we learn from history, we won't make the same mistakes. Which
I know, I'm a history junkie.
Basically, we don't learn. We don't. We're humans. We are absolutely just.
We have patterns. The patterns keep repeating. We just need to be aware.
We're at a time. Everything is goes in a flow, in a circle. You know, there's a start and an end. And it doesn't matter whether that's in a relationship, whether that's in a product, or whether that's, you know, in our connection between, obviously, whether that's in a religious connection, you know what I mean, God, spiritual, whatever it is that you believe in, you know what I mean, and to the soul and to the earth. And so we utilize numismatics, being coins, currency, you know, like the rare stuff, like so. Yeah, your 1921. So take your 1921 piece, silver dollar. Yeah. 1909 wheat penny SVW, which is worth $20,000, for example. Yeah. You know, we give away 1,000. We give away 1,000 coins a year. We give one away that is slabbed, it's graded, authentic. You know, it's worth over $100. We give it away for free every day, and that's what we do. And we do that via just an app. You know, you only have to download the app only once, and that's it. And you're forever, as long as we're going, you're forever automatically in the draw.
What is the app? How can people download the app?
The app is called Global Coin Giveaway. So GCG giveaway. It is to be, we're releasing it in 6 weeks. So
Okay.
there's a little pre one for you. We have our other site, which we have all numismatics and a lot of history products, especially in the Viking and the European age, because that's where my ancestry comes along those lines, German and Viking. But yeah, so we're launching that, and by giving the product away, that then obviously people have members and they get discounts to all various dealers and auctions and sponsors and that, and we're constantly just doing education and you know what I mean. So we don't actually sell anything. We just the app for $1.99 when it's released, and that's it. And you're forever in a draw, and you could win every day like a coin like this here, but it's in a graded slab, and it's worth minimum over $100 plus up to $1,000.
Nice. Okay, so again, how can people find you and contact you?
Well, most people will contact for 2 reasons. They contact, generally on the
where? My question is, let's share where they can find you.
Where? Yeah, that's quite easily. You can simply just type my name, Brad Fewson, into Google. Unfortunately, it's well known. Or you can jump onto HBOT Australia on Facebook, HBOT for hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So HBOT Australia Facebook page, or go to the website www.kbctrading. KBC in trading is trading.com.au, which stands for Kincaid & Bell Chambers, which is my grandfather's, which had been doing it since 1978. And
congratulations. Point one, let me tell you, congratulations for your life, for the way that you look to things, and for being alive and being an example for all of us. I would like to wrap this interview with 2 things. One message to yourself when you found out that you were sick, and 2, a quote.
Yeah, no worries. When I found out I was sick, the first thing I actually said to the professor who told me that it was that you're terminal was, how do I fix it? And he said, no, it's terminal. And I said, nothing's impossible. That's the truth. And he came back and he said, 99.9% of people say that, and they'll stay in that hole. But there's always that 1%. But if you keep fighting, you get out. But the only reason I'm out of that hole, because I'm backed by love, by my family. Plain and simple. Everything comes back to love. And that's where it all comes from. It doesn't matter what the problem is. Veteran suicides, the domestic violence, anything like that. The root cause always can come back to looking at the grassroots, which is the family, and treating at the base there. No matter how much programs you throw at people and medications and that, if you don't treat the root cause, which is a support, like a tree, the roots are the family. That could be your friends, your partner, you know what I mean? But that is where it has to start. And that is what will keep then the person that is sick or injured or in times of crisis and that, going forward. So people, I get contacted from all over the world, obviously because of my conditions and what I've achieved, and for advice and motivation, and I do a lot of motivation speaking, and and that sort of thing. but I utilize e-commerce obviously so we can also get the treatment for free to out to people as well, because humans are humans. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran, a butcher, a plumber, it makes no difference. Everyone has a basic right to life.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much to be the dream warrior that you are. I'm going to say bye to everyone here. Listen to, please go and check Brandley work and his e-commerce and everything, and put yourself in contact with him to support, or maybe for him to support you. My name is Rita Egidio. I'm your host. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, to comment, and to share. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.